my little lovebirds. Today we're going to be doing things just a little bit different. Today we'll be introducing you all to a good friend of mine, Dr. Ryan Rasner. Now typically, Lily and the Lost Boys is an anonymous podcast that allows everyone to talk freely about the dates they have been on. However, I have always given guests the option to share their true identity if they please. And thankfully, my friend Ryan is here to give us more than some fun banter. He has a PhD in interpersonal communication and is a phenomenal relationship and success expert. I will link everything in the show notes per usual, including all the pod's normal contact information, but also how to reach Dr. Rasner if you are interested in some communication strength support. In today's episode, we share some laughs around dating. As always, we will dive into the good, the bad, and the funny moments of dating, but we will also be discussing more on speed dating and one of the experts' funnest topics, ghosting. So, that leads me into today's episode. I hope you all enjoy episode 4, ghosting, or reject life skills.
So what are we chatting about today?
Okay, well first, do you have stories prepared? Dating experience?
No. I have a ton of research ones.
No, like ones you've been on? I'm gonna have to pull them out of you.
Dating stories I've been on? I mean, yeah, I can go back and think of them. There's none that are. There's some that are super weird, none that are terrible.
Okay.
I mean, there's some terrible ones.
Those are the ones we want to talk about today.
Okay, we can talk about some of the terrible ones.
Well, for starters, I always ask everybody, what is your relationship status right now?
Right now, I'm in a relationship.
Okay.
How did we meet?
Yeah.
We met on, I think it was either Hinge or Facebook dating. Facebook dating?
There's Facebook dating. So my uncle does this, and I'm super confused on how that works.
Yeah, it's on your. See.
It's in
dating is like. Yeah, it's dating.
What?
Down there at the bottom.
And is it like Tinder or what is it like?
Well, I'm not in there anymore. Yeah, I mean you're swiping and it shows you how many mutual connections you have and.
And they can see your whole profile, so they can see like your friends.
No, they can't see your profile. It says who your mutual connections are. So they can't actually click on it and go to your Facebook profile. It's like
if they're stalker enough, they might be able to, right?
Oh, yeah, 100% they can find you. 100%. But that's part of one of the things about it is you can find out who people are a little bit easier than Tinder or Bumble or something because it's not connected to anything, so you know it's a real person. I don't know if girls get a ton, but guys get a ton of bots and spam.
On other apps, but do you get it on Facebook?
Yeah. No, not that I remember. There wasn't as much.
Yeah, I like the bots though.
Are you still in a relationship with that guy?
Yeah, I'm in a relationship. We met on Plenty of Fish.
Plenty of Fish.
And I thought he hated me when we met, and I'm surprised we're still together.
You thought he hated you?
Yeah, we met I was at work and he's like, yeah, let's grab dinner or something, and it's at this place where there's a bunch of restaurants in one, and I didn't know which restaurant he was talking about. I had an idea that I thought it was, but I did not know, and I got super nervous, and I had to find a restroom before because I was like panic mode, and I think I almost got like locked in the restroom. I was having a hard time. running late per usual, and but not my fault. It's never my fault when I'm running late. I'm always on time when I have control over it. So then I get there, and I thought we had a lot in common in the fact that like we both like outdoor stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he is 10 times more extreme than me. And so he must have been like listening to my hiking stories and been like, oh, this girl just walks parks or something, you know?
Yeah.
And when we left, he didn't even like hug me goodbye. It was just like, all right, see ya. And I was like, oh, that guy, he didn't like me. He'll never see him again. And then he just kept blowing up my phone, and it was...
Shit. That's cool. You guys are still together.
Yeah, we got 2 dogs. Tied down now.
Tied down. Yeah, 2 dogs together. How long has it been? A couple of years?
3 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't think it would last.
That's a positive story.
I know. I was like, I really didn't think he would ever contact me again. And then we had a bunch of trips lined up too. Like he went to Hawaii. I had like races all over the place. And I remember being in Vegas and drunk in Vegas, and I was sending him photos every time I went to the restroom, because I was going to the restroom like back to back to back, like I was hitting up every restroom in the Vegas Strip. Just had this like weird I got an adventure hat that time.
Yeah.
Full blown like sparkles, and looks like Mad Max but with sparkles.
All right.
And I'm rocking it like into every restroom, just taking selfies in the restroom mirrors, like, oh, this is the Bellagio one, and this is...
Shit. Yeah, what do you tell people when they say, like, the dating apps are just for hooking up? Because I don't find it to be that way at all, and I think people use it the wrong... I think it depends on how you use it.
I think Grindr's for hooking up for sure, but...
Well, I'm sure.
I haven't heard of anybody finding love on Grindr. Well, funny story. So my old hairstylist, she's younger. She's married now, but when I used to go to her all the time, she would be like, "Oh man, you meet like so many weirdos." Cause like when you get your hair done, you vent, you talk. It's not like a therapy session while you're getting your hair done. And I would tell her like, "Oh yeah," she would always see me at the fair. I'm a big fair girl, and she'd be like, "Oh, I saw you with this guy," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I met that guy on like Tinder or something," and she's like, "What?" And she would tell me like, "Oh yeah, I always feel guilty if the guy buys me dinner and I don't sleep with him." And I'm like, "No, I don't sleep with anybody that I meet up with. Like, I'll make it very known that we're not going to sleep with each other. Like, we're going to go have fun, and you know, if you want to pay, I don't care, but I'll pay for myself if I have to. I'm not sleeping with you, you know?" And I made it very, like, I told her that, and she's like, "Oh, no, I always feel guilty. Like, I have to." And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know where that stigma came from. I mean, there's apps that you can use, and you cannot sleep with them, like couch hoppers and...
Yeah, there's no reason. Oh, man, that sucks for her. She ought to just start paying for her own dinner.
I don't even think... I bet you she paid every now and then, too, and was just still like, "Oh, well, he spent time with me. I'm going to have to put out something."
Oh, God. How fucking awful would that be?
Right? Like, you have to look at the bill, peek at the bill. Okay, that one... An HJ.
Shit.
No, I don't know, like... And it's weird that I used to have to, like, tell people, like, we're not going to hook up. Like, if we hang out, we're not going to hook up. And if you're not cool with that, like, we don't need to hang out. I'll find someone else. I'm going to swipe right some more.
Yeah. I just think people, for some reason, it seems like people are really bad at setting boundaries in
Yeah.
their personal life or just in dating.
Do you have girls that, like, they make you put out?
No. I mean, man, you can't make the willing put out.
The girl's like, oh, you paid for my dinner. I'm going to have to give you something now. And you're like, no.
Oh, God. Man, if they said that to me, I'd be like, this is completely out of pity, and I feel real shitty about myself right now. This is not cool. Like, yeah, pity sex? How awful.
Right? I feel bad. I have pity for her. I have pity for those people out there.
I guess. I'm just like, shit, know your self-worth a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because, like, dude, if I went on a date, I think this is a lot of guys, if they go on a date and the girl sleeps with them right off the bat, after that first date, they got what they needed, and they're not going to stick around.
No.
That's probably why she has a lot of them. Like, hold out for a while. At least get to the date 3.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I was fortunate. I lived with my dad, so I couldn't even, like, bring you home, you know? It was like, no, it's not gonna happen.
Dad's waiting.
He was always on the couch when I would come home, like, passed out, but alright, he knows I'm safe. I'm by myself.
Yes. Yeah. Dating apps have they changed the whole dating game. They made so many things, like ghosting. Ghosting wasn't really a thing before.
Have you ever ghosted someone?
Oh, 100%.
100%?
Yeah, everybody has.
How do you ghost someone? Because I've never ghosted anybody.
You just stop talking to them.
But when they're contacting you, what do? Do you say, like, obviously I'm ghosting them? You look at your phone and you're like, nope, I'm a ghost?
Yeah, like you're just done talking to them. And well, here's the thing, it makes it really easy on things like Tinder and Bumble and Hinge. It makes it really easy to ghost them because you just unmatch with them and they no longer have access to you.
Yeah, but, like, I've been ghosted in person. Like, I went on dates with this guy, and I changed his name to Matty Ghost because he would just constantly ghost me and then come back every now and then. I'd be like, whoa, you're alive still. This is crazy. Like,
Yeah,
does it, like, you turn off notifications for them? Like, how do you do it when they've actually got your phone number?
You can block their phone number.
Yeah.
You can block it.
I think I would tell them, though. Ghosting's when you don't tell them.
Ghosting's when you don't tell them, and it produces a lot of... It doesn't allow for closure on one end. Like, the person being ghosted doesn't have any idea what's going on. They're like, why? Why did you ghost me? But, like, in some research I did, one of the participants, when they were talking about ghosting, they said it's just a really efficient way to date. I don't like you, I stop talking to you, and I move on to the next.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's a good thing, but it's...
So for the person ghosting, though, then they don't learn how to reject people. Like
No.
They don't get that life skill.
No. Well, I mean, they're kind of lacking life skills if they can't even ask somebody out in person anyways, so... I mean, it's just one of those things. But yeah, I totally agree. It does... They don't have that life skill of rejection.
They don't know how to say no to anything, like, after that in life. It's like, would you like cheese on your burger? And they just run away because they don't know how to respond.
Yeah. 100%, yeah. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. That's got to roll over into a bunch of areas of their life. Like they can't even talk. Like I don't know. Once you have the ability to just look at somebody and say, "Hey, I really appreciate you hanging out. This just isn't working. We should probably go our separate ways." Like it's not that hard to do. It sucks hurting someone's feelings, but
Matty Ghost, he had the coolest bedroom ever. Like, I went to his house, and I didn't sleep with him, but, like, to get to his restroom, you had to walk through his bedroom.
Yeah.
This guy had, like, lures and fishing hooks and poles across the ceiling, and, like, the walls were covered with, it looked like you were in a tackle store, like, sick.
That's an odd bedroom. How old was this guy?
I want to say like 27, 26 maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. Like, I think I got stuck in there for a second just thinking, like, how do I order some of these hooks right here with the worms on them?
Yeah. Did he at least have, like, a regular bed frame?
Yeah.
Or was it like was it just the mattress?
No, he had like a legit room. It looked like you walked into a cabin, but he lived in the city. It like looked like wood frame bed for sure. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. Like on dating apps, like girls are taking selfies or whatever. They'd be in their bedroom, and if they have like just their bed sitting on the ground, I was like, that was an immediate left swipe. I'm not even dealing with that. Like, you don't even have your shit together enough to buy an actual bed frame to put your mattress on. Like, you got bigger problems than dating.
I mean, that happened a lot.
You'd see it often, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen some cool ones on there. I always thought about starting, it was like when Instagram had just became big and that you could become an influencer off of like memes and stuff. Yeah. Just when that started, I kept thinking like I should do an Instagram where it's like plenty of weirdos. Like plenty of fish, but plenty of weirdos. And like just post all their photos. I still have a collection of all the weird photos that I had seen out there.
Do you really?
Yeah, I have a whole folder. It's private on my Facebook, but it's just a collection of weirdos, like on all the dating apps that I ever found, you know?
That would be the most epic Instagram page.
I need to do that. I run like 8 Instagram accounts. It's already too much. I know.
You have 8?
Yeah, I run one like for my animals and things like that, the podcast, and then there's one for the sign guy, for the Metro PCS guy.
Okay. Okay. You run his?
Yeah, I run his. I might have to retire it though. I think he got cut from his job. I haven't seen him out there, but he does some gnarly like gyrating moves that I collected as well. So.
Gyrating moves, okay.
But yeah. Have you ever met anybody off of Instagram? They like DM'd you, like let's get up together, meet up and dance or something, gyrate on the corner?
Gyrate on the corner? I haven't got any gyrate conversations. No. Like the Instagram ones or the Facebook ones, when people hit me up, I assume they're scam.
Mm.
I'm not even gonna deal with it.
Yeah. Because
like early on, you'd reply to them, and it was always the same thing. Oh, I need you to send me money, or need you to, like, that's the path it led down. So I don't even deal with it anymore. And now that I run my business on Facebook and Instagram, like I get more and more of that. So I only answer stuff that's from actual people who want to be clients or who currently are clients.
Yeah.
So, no. Do you get gyrating DMs?
No, but I did meet somebody from Snapchat once.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This girl, I don't know where she found me. She still, like, to this day would never tell me. And I'm not a lesbian. Like, I have nothing against them, but I'm not a lesbian. But she added me, and she would send me, like, selfies all the time. And I'm like, who are you? Like, how do I know you? It was a bit confusing. So, at one point I was like, where are you located? And I found out she was pretty local. And I was like, so have we met? Do we know friends have friends? She just wouldn't tell me. I was like, so why do you message me all the time? She's like, I have a crush on you. And I was like, okay, let's expand. Like, how do you know me? Like, no, I need to know now. And so I met up with her just because I was curious, like, how did you even get connected to me? I'm not into girls, things like that.
Yeah.
Really nice girl. She was like the perfect catch, but just not for me. And
didn't have the right tackle.
Yeah, really nice girl though. She's a nurse. She's in a military department, high up there. Makes buku bucks. She owned like a motorhome, a boat, all this stuff, and I'm like, all paid off. I'm like, you have your shit together. Why do you like me?
Oh, come on, give yourself some credit.
Well, at the time, I think I was like 23, 24. I'm like, and now I have it together.
Shit.
But she's doing good now. She's married. They had a surrogate baby. She's killing it.
Oh, wow. You really kept in touch.
We're still in touch, yeah.
Nice.
Still don't know how she found me, but we're still in touch.
Oh, she never told you still?
She still won't tell me. I don't know. I'll never know.
Weird. Weird.
What's the weirdest date that you've been on? You're not from New Orleans, but you were out there for a long time.
Yeah, well, I was in Baton Rouge for 6 years, which is about an hour away, about 70 miles.
Did you date any, like, vampires or girls that did voodoo?
No, didn't date any voodoo people or vampires. Actually, like, I dated some really cool people down there. Things just obviously didn't work out. I was super busy with grad school and teaching. I was finishing my doctorate down there. So, of course, like, a lot of it was my fault. I'd go on dates and I would think I could handle the relationship, but I just didn't have the time to put into it, honestly.
Yeah.
But I met some really, really cool people. I got to do, like, a bunch of cookouts and crawfish boils and, of course, Mardi Gras. I got to do some really cool things. But no, I didn't date any actual witches or voodoo practitioners down there.
No vampires. Because every time I'm down there, there's, like, people talk, that there's little vampire clans, and I didn't see it.
There probably are. I never saw any of it. I was pretty much stuck in the university setting, so a lot of what I saw was just university shit.
Yeah. Vampires don't need to go to college.
Like, no, they don't. Like, night classes really aren't too much of a thing. No, like, so the worst date I ever went on, this was before I moved down there, and I had met this one lady on Tinder, and she was like an hour and a half away from where I live. She was down in Fort Collins, and so I was going to drive down there we were going to have brunch and hang out, and like, her pictures looked all right. And I got down there and I'm sitting on the street waiting out front of this restaurant we were going to meet at. And I saw out of the corner of my eye, like, just one single woman walking towards me, and I looked at her, and it didn't look anything like what was on Tinder, so I was like, oh, that can't be her. It was it was definitely her. And when I tell you, she looked probably at least 20 years older than what her pictures were. Like, she was looking rough. And, like, an oversized, like, button-down shirt, kind of trying to wear it as a skirt, but, like, it wasn't ironed, it was just all wrinkled. She looked like a hot mess, with a belt around the waist. And then she's wearing, like, wedge
sandals. She already brushed without you.
Oh, God, something. She's wearing wedges, and it's cobblestone down there, so she's falling. She can't even walk in them. And we get to eating brunch, and we had our mimosas and everything, and she starts talking and how she had just got fired. I think she was in it for a free meal. Not even gonna lie. Like, that's what I think her motive was. So we're eating, and she's telling me about all the drugs she's doing, and she just got fired as a kindergarten teacher. And, like, her stories were going nuts, and I was texting my friend, like, I need you to call me and get me out of this. Like, there's some kind of emergency. I don't know why I just didn't tell her, but that time I didn't. And so we got done, and we're walking around, and she's falling all over because evidently she's never worn wedges before. So she's fallen down, and finally I was like, yo, my truck's right here. I gotta get out of here. This is not for me. And I did ghost that one.
You ghosted?
I did. I blocked her number and never talked to her again.
Do you think she would have messaged you again? Or, like, maybe she was just in it for the meal? Dude.
She did. She messaged me one time, and that's when I blocked her number. I just didn't
what did she say? She said, hey, I got to hang in my shoes. Let's go out again.
I got a handle on these shoes. I've been practicing. You want to go hang out? No, she's like, hey, I had a really good time. Let's hang out again. I didn't answer. I wasn't into it at all. That was probably...
Now her photos, she catfished you, where her photos, like, just older photos, or do you think she filtered it up a bit?
I think she filtered it up quite a bit. I'm not kidding you. It was like, there was like a 20 to 30 year difference in her photos.
Mm.
Like, it said she was close to my age, and at that time I was probably like 33 or 35, somewhere in there. And she showed up looking like 55, 60. But said she was my age.
That's kind of cool.
No, it's not. What? How was that cool?
I think it's cool to, like, know that you're putting up fake photos. Like, right now, if I tried to redate, I'm not in shape. I'm a mess. Like, I wouldn't be confident in putting photos of myself right now online and trying to date with high standards, you know?
So what are you going to put up?
I don't know. I think it would be cool to put up, like, photos of me as a child and show up and be like, yeah, this is me. Let's get wasted.
God. Dude,
no, I think it's brave, you know?
I don't know how brave that is. Like, you're just, at that point, you're putting stuff out there knowing it's not going to go anywhere.
You're straight up lying. You're lying for the day before you even met, because they, like...
Yeah. You're big time lying. And you get caught.
I think I met one catfisher, but I don't remember pre-meeting him, but I remember, like, we went to Not Scary Farm together. Mm-hmm. And, there's no way I would have. I love him. He's a great friend of mine, but there's no way I would have gone on a full-blown date with him had I known what he actually looked like, you know? And I had a blast. I kept hanging out with this kid. Like, we're still friends, and we went every year together just for funsies, and I would hang out with his parents, like his dad. His dad would bring us glow sticks. We were adults, and his dad would bring glow sticks for us to put on when we were going through the mazes so the monsters would see us and scare us more. But I don't remember before to know if he catfished me, but I feel like he had to have, because there's no way. Like, it was embarrassing when I was standing next to him. I'm like, oh, this isn't a date, guys. Like, I know I dressed really cute for this one, but no.
Do you put just pictures of your face on your profile?
No, I think when I had one, I had all kinds of weird photos, and I kept them rotating because my life was wild back then. Like,
you put them into rotation?
Yeah, like, when I was dating, I didn't ever think I was going to settle down, and I feel, like, bad because a lot of times it's kind of like what you said. My life was too chaotic that I thought, oh, yeah, I could do this. But realistically, I didn't have time for one person, and my mind was just like, what's next? What's next? Where's the fun adventure, you know?
Yeah.
And I've probably met some great guys, but I had to blow them off and move on to whatever was next because my life was so chaotic. It was like, I mean, when I met you, that was like February of that year, and that year I was on race 2 of like 17, and
okay.
And 10 of them I was going to be traveling to different states and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had to juggle, like, how am I going to actually afford that? And so I was using couch hoppers. I was, like, using anything to kind of, like, meet people to cut down my costs of things.
Yeah. Is that why you were on Tinder or whatever it was?
I think I met you on Plenty of Fish because you could control your zip code. And I put my zip code before I would go places so that I could have people to hang out with because I was going by myself. And it's like, if I'm going to be there for 4 or 5 days, I don't want to be just straggling alone. I'll end up talking to myself, and then it's weird, you know? And so, but yeah, I used to put the zip code for that area that I was headed to and talk to people and kind of let them know, like, hey, I'm going to be in town these days, and if you want to hang out, I like to party, I like going on random adventures. But I remember I would use couch hoppers too and things like that. It was just whatever I could, if I could crash on people's couches, I would.
Shit. Yeah, I mean, there for a while I was using the dating apps just to go on dates and hang out with people. I didn't see a future in it, but it was like, hey, even if I had to buy, I didn't care. It's just meeting somebody new, going to dinner, having a good time, and then it's like, hey, things aren't going to work out, sorry.
Yeah.
See you later. Or we'd hang out 2 or 3 times, and then it'd be over, whatever the case may be. But yeah, my life was complete chaos in grad school, and there's no way I could have done that.
I remember one of my friends, he's the greatest. I still, to this day, love this guy. He's the greatest. The first time we met was on a date, and I went on a couple dates with him, but he's just there for you. Like, if my car was breaking down at one point, he would fix my car up, and I would just kind of hang out with him, and sometimes he would feed me while he was fixing my car. And it would be like the sweetest guy ever. And every time I hang out, it's like my chest hurts from laughing so hard.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, he asked me at one point, why can't we just date? Like, why don't we try? And I told him, I was like, I just can't. I'm not ready to settle. And it was, like, legit probably the nicest thing I could do at that time for him, because I was, like, on a rampage. I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there, and I wasn't going to be able to just stop in that moment for a relationship. And I feel bad. I probably hurt his heart a little, but it truly was probably the best thing for him. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the best thing you can do is set those boundaries and just tell people, hey, this shit's not going to work. It's not going anywhere.
I felt bad because I had double booked races, and one of them you have to do to keep your status. And if you hit like 10, they put your name on a bench somewhere or whatever. I don't know. And then I had one in like Hawaii, and it's like, well, I'm not going to be able to run. I'm not going to give up Hawaii for this other race. And he ran the half marathon for me as my name.
Oh, shit. That's amazing.
Not a runner. Never ran anything. And
He's never ran?
not like that. Not 13 miles. I think maybe he's ran a mile before that. But, yeah.
Oh, my God. How miserable. Dude, that would be the worst. Did he understand what a half marathon was?
Yeah, and he did really good, too. Like, he beat my star, and then I think he enjoyed it after. I don't know. He did really good. I'm really proud of him still to this day.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy who you meet when you're online.
I've met some cool people. I mean, I would always use it kind of a similar way, but it was just to go to dinner in different places. I was going for academic conventions. So, like, I went on a date in Toronto. I went on one in Washington, D.C. I just went on dates just to hang out with somebody while I was in town, knowing it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
But I met cool people. Some of them, they're still following me on Facebook, so it wasn't all terrible. But like, that was the other thing with dating. So my PhD is in interpersonal communication, and I study relationship development. So I would go on these dates, and they would ask what I do, and I would tell them. And all of a sudden, it turned into, oh my God, are you psychoanalyzing me? Are you using me as research? And I was like, no, really, like, I like to have my own life too. Like, that's not what my whole life revolves around. So after a while, I had to quit telling people what I did.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't want that.
I think you told me you're a professor.
I was teaching, yeah.
I think that's all you told me, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like, same thing. I don't tell people exactly what I did, because then they are. Or I had this one girl, went on a date, and then later she started sending me all of these text messages and blogs from her ex-husband, wanting me to analyze it and tell her why they broke up and what she should do. She was using me for a therapist or a counselor. And that, I was like, what the fuck? I am not your therapist, and I'm not going to help you get back your ex.
My mom always reaches out to my ex to try to get out of tickets and stuff because he was a cop.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's why she still stays friends with him. I'm like, dude, we ended that. You need to move on.
How long ago was that?
Oh, years ago.
Oh, it's been that long?
Yeah. Yeah, because I was single for a good 4 to 5 years. You know, they tell you to find yourself. I really found it. Like,
did you?
Yeah, I think so. It was wild. It was fun.
It was wild. It was fun. I hung out on a lot of couches and.
Yeah, I wouldn't go back.
Places.
I don't know. I feel like dating nowadays looks rough. It looks rough.
I mean, I don't think it's any more rough. I think people just don't want to. They don't want to engage in face-to-face conversations. Like, I came back here 2 years ago, and I held a speed dating event, and like there was pretty good. It was a ton of fun. It was an axe throwing company, but like 20, 25 people showed up. But the others that they would sign up and pay for it, and then like the day before, I would send out the email saying, "Hey, just a reminder, our event's going on tomorrow night. Can't wait to see you there." And they just wouldn't show up. They're like, "I don't know that I can talk to somebody face to face." I was like, "I am handing you free dates. Like, I even have questions out there for you to ask in case you're wondering what to talk about."
Yeah.
Like, I've done all the work for you.
I love speed dating.
It's a blast.
It's a blast. When I went, the one guy that didn't match with me, he was probably the most interesting person. Homeless. He showed up.
What? He was homeless?
Homeless guy, yeah. He was like the most interesting person there. I'm like, I want to talk to him more. I don't want to date him. I want to talk to him more. And he didn't match with me, unfortunately. If you're out there, still want to talk to you.
still want to chat.
I don't know how you did it.
Where was that? How's speed dating out there? Is it fun?
I thought it was fun. We did it in LA, and just, I mean, it was a weird mixture of people, right? Of course. Mm-hmm. And my friend went, and he's gay, but he's like in the closet. Nobody really, I think only a few people know that he's actually gay. He went to support me, and he goes, yeah, every girl there was like, do you want kids? Have you ever been married? Do you want to get married? What do you do for work? And like, really just quick with their questions in regards to like future nonsense. Yeah. Maybe that's why I did get a lot of matches, was because I was just more like talking my head off. I didn't even ask questions.
Probably, like, those are some crazy questions to ask speed dating. Like, I get it, but man, you're just trying to see if you want to go on an actual date with somebody. Well, you don't need to interrogate them about...
I need to know that they're well off and they're ready for marriage and kids before I take them out to dinner.
I guess. That's nuts. I mean, I'd rather know about somebody's drive, about their goals, their ambitions in life, what they like, what they're passionate about. I'd rather know those things. Shit. Give a person
give a speech before you start the speed date off. Like, all right, people, get to real questions, not how much money they make.
Yeah. just give them a badge. Don't want kids. Not sure about marriage. And I'm not telling you how much I make.
I want you to be the breadwinner.
Yeah. I mean, like, those things are important, but not in that setting and then in that context.
So you've hosted events, but you haven't done it.
Haven't done it. I've just hosted it.
Do you get to watch and you're just like, wow, that was weird? Situation
go
down.
There's a few weird situations that go down that happen. Like, you get the whole gambit from people who are super introverted and don't know how, maybe they're socially awkward, to the people that are super extroverted, and it's overwhelming to both people when you put them together. So it makes for a super awkward first encounter.
Yeah.
Because you've only got 10 minutes to talk to each person.
I always forget how long it was. Yeah.
5 or 10, something like that.
The guy that I matched with and I actually went on a second date with, he took me to the Magic Castle in LA. And the Magic Castle is really interesting. Like, you can only get in if you're a donor, which you have to donate like thousands of dollars a year, or you have to be a magician, so you have to audition with your skills of magic. And
What?
Yeah. Or you have to be like a friend of theirs that you got referred, like you got a little entry card from them.
So what was he? Was he a donor or a magician or a friend?
Well, guess.
I'm guessing he's a magician. He was?
Magician. A lot of them are. A lot of people that go there are magicians. So he was a magician. He brought I don't know why all magicians, they travel with rubber bands like on their hands, and they're always doing magic tricks with rubber bands, or they'll always have cards. They'll always have a deck of cards on them. And so he takes me, and I've been. I don't think I pretended not to have been there, but he was treating it like it was my first time ever going there.
Yeah.
But he was giving me so many other weird, cool facts. Like we're at the bar, you wait at the bar and you kind of socialize, and then you go to the dinner area. And we're at the bar, and he's like, this countertop is actually wood from the Hollywood High School gymnasium when they tore it apart back in the 80s, and this and that, like, just I everything he was telling me about where everything came from, like he built that place, and it was pretty cool. It was
Wow.
And then when there wasn't anything to like point out where it's from, he would do magic tricks for random strangers.
Yeah, was he pretty good?
It was okay. Like I got to see what was going on. You know, I got to see where he snuck the rubber bands and whatnot. But it was funny because after that date, like I just felt like we didn't even conversate. He was showcasing the tour of the place, or he was doing magic for people. And when we finished, I think I drove too, and I went to drop him off. He's like, "Are you gonna come inside?" And I was like, "No, I have to work in the morning." And he's like, "Oh, come inside, we can cuddle." And I'm like, "No, I don't do that cuddle thing. That's
What?
spooning leads to forking type thing, and I don't do that."
Man, I've heard so many women tell me the weird stories like that, like a first date where the guy's like, "Hey, can I come over and cuddle, or do you want to come over and cuddle?" What's with these guys asking chicks to cuddle?
It seems like a harmless tactic to get you in their room, and they're pretending like they're not going to try to rape you or something. I don't know.
Dude, that was just some creepy shit. Like
It's kind of like when the pedophiles say like, "Oh, I have candy in my van with no windows."
Hey, I got cuddles in the house. Oh shit.
That's what it is.
Oh god, free cuddles. No, I don't think. I just couldn't see myself saying that. Like, you want to come in and cuddle? Like most guys would ask you if you want to have a drink.
What do they call? They're probably like 20-year-olds right now. What would you call them? It's like the Gen Zers or the XYers?
Gen Z, yeah. It must be Gen Z.
I think it's a Gen Z thing, because when I would go on dates with like guys that were older than me at that time, they would say like, "Do you want to come in for a drink?" And,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was more that like it was in the 1990s, you know, like.
Shit.
No,
dudes born in the 2000s are all about the cuddles.
Yeah, 2000s, they're cuddlers. Watch out.
Look out. Those Gen Z cuddlers are going to get you.
They need to teach it in the schools now, like, don't go in to cuddle.
No. Ask them if they want to have a drink. Golly. Gen Z cuddlers. Yeah. No, I don't think. I just don't see that ever working. Maybe it works on other Gen Z women.
Do you ever get like, or did you get, when you would go out, they would ask for your Instagram instead of your phone number?
No, not really.
That's a thing now too.
Asking for Snapchat or your Instagram.
Instead of your number.
Well, and so many people, I had one student. He was having a rough time with his girlfriend because his girlfriend had a friend who was a guy, and all of a sudden this guy became her like #1 best friend on Snapchat because they were snapping so much.
Uh-oh.
So that was causing problems. I was like, man, this shit's getting out of hand. And I told him, I was like, well, if you don't want that guy to be in first place, start sending her more fucking snaps. Like race him to the top, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of podcasts about crime and how there's like ones where they found out that the pastor was sending the younger girl Snapchats, and it's like, ooh, that's not good.
No, Jesus.
That wasn't for kitties.
Did you have guys asking for your IG or your Snap?
Yeah. Before I met my boyfriend now, if I would go to bars that, like, when I was in my 20s, I would go to, the crowd, is younger now than me, and yeah, I would be like twerking on the dance floor and hit it off with some young buck, and they would ask for the Instagram instead of the phone number, and I'm like, oh, I think I need to go. Like,
which Instagram would you give out?
Oh, none. I would say I don't have one. What are you talking about? Like, no, I give them. I don't know. I think I would give them like my dog's one or something. I never gave.
The sign guy.
Gave real names.
Give him the sign guy's number.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit. No, I never really had that. It was usually, can I get your number? But it was also me asking. They typically didn't ask.
Yeah.
I don't think women ask for that stuff.
I do.
Maybe they do. I was always the one to ask, like, hey, can I get your number? But it was always a number. It was never anything else.
Not their address or something.
Not their address, not where they work. Nothing like that, just their number.
My sister, she's younger than me, and we used to go to clubs in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, like, we would go to this 80s one, and it's like everybody there is on drugs. Like, there's no good people to take home to mom there.
Yeah.
And I would tell her before we go, like, don't give your real name. Don't tell people your real phone number. Don't tell them where you work. Don't tell them where you live. Like, nothing. Don't tell them anything.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, because at one point she was just turned 18. She wasn't 21. She just turned 18, 19. And she gave a guy that was 49 years old, she started dating him. And I want to say it was from that club. Because I think that there's a picture that he's in and I'm in. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how did I do that to her? I felt so guilty. It was my fault. But, yeah, and I talked to him on the phone one time, and he kind of reminded me of what maybe Charles Manson would sound like, just trying to, like, convince you that you're wrong. And
oh, God.
Right? It was crazy. I had to, like, hang up. I think I broke my phone because I threw it. I was so mad at that guy.
Are they still dating?
They're not dating anymore, no. I think she grew out of that, but maybe not. My sister is a gold digger. We don't talk, so I can say that. She is a gold digger. She straight up told me so many times things that I'm like, so you're dating the guy for money? Even her high school little sweetheart that she dated for a long time, she told me, he was like a famous soccer player out in Mexico. Oh, I could move in with him, and he would support me and buy me a bodyguard and this and that, and I could live in paradise, basically. But it sounded like maybe he wanted a kid and she wasn't ready to, like, tie down that much. She just wanted the money.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that guy, he claimed to be a famous cinematographer, director. I watched movies one time. It was creepy, and she made me watch it not knowing who it was created by, like why we were watching it. And it's about dating, I think, too, and it's like a guy that's a puppeteer, and he like tries to socialize through his puppet or whatever. It was a weird movie.
Holy shit. There's some, yeah, there's definitely some crazy shit going on out there in the dating world. I can see how it would be terrifying for a woman to be dating online. It really would.
Easier to date online or in person, like where you can be somewhere and try to hit it off?
Well, I think, it all begins online, so I think it'd be terrifying in that context. You don't know if they're going to be that weirdo that's making movies about socializing through your puppets, or they're super manipulative like the other guy, right? You're not going to know that just through a picture and a bio.
Yeah.
I always tried to talk to people over the phone before we went on a date.
I like FaceTime nowadays, but
yeah, FaceTime is awesome. It's a saver.
I would love, I don't know, I feel like it would be fun to, like, experiment the dating world again and be, like, show up on FaceTime with 20 cats behind me and just be like, yeah, let's go out.
Sounds like you got a pretty good dude.
Yeah, he's good. He's not too bad.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not dating anymore.
What's the weird, or maybe have you ever been on a scary date where you're like...
I've never been on a scary date.
What about an embarrassing one?
An embarrassing one? I mean, the chick falling all over the cobblestone was pretty embarrassing, holding her up walking down the street. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty embarrassing. Other than that, no, not really. They've all been pretty normal, but I guess I was pretty good at weeding out the weirdos.
Yeah. Were you analyzing them before then, for real?
I mean, I was looking at their stuff. Yeah, I mean, I was swiping left on chicks who didn't have a bed frame in their picture. Because they didn't have grow up. I gotta find it, but in my stash of photos, there's one. He was on some other weird website or whatever, like Fubar or something weird, right? Yeah. And in his photos, it was this old, like, scraggly guy, and he claimed to be, like, in his 20s. He looked like a tweaker Santa. Like, he was not young at all. And in his photos, it's, like, in his kitchen, right? There's a countertop with all kinds of kitchen supplies. There's a jacuzzi, like one of those inflatable jacuzzis, and he's in the jacuzzi, like, hanging out. And if you zoom in, behind his head is, like, treatment for lice. Oh, shit.
It's just, like, a photo of him at his computer with the jacuzzi in the background. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't know. I don't think that was a filter.
You have to do that with them. You have to look for those little things right off the bat, see if you even want to hang out and date them.
Yeah. I just winged it. Whatever sounded cool that night, you know?
You're brave. You're very brave. I wasn't going to wing it like that. I mean, I did a few times, but...
I was always hoping that, like, I was always hoping that I was just gonna like go on this crazy adventure where the person was gonna fly me to Europe or something, you know? Like, let's just try.
Shit. Let's do this with hoping. No. Yeah, I had a pretty easygoing time of dating online. It was never anything super crazy, and ghosted a few people. One person asked me to, if we were to start dating, if I'd cover all my tattoos because they were too scary.
Mm.
They were obviously super religious. And yeah, that wasn't a conversation I was about to have.
That was like a first date question, or like?
Yeah, first date. Hey, if we got together, would you be willing to cover your tattoos into making them into something else? I was like, no, that's not how this is going. Like right there, you're already trying to change somebody. That's all.
It's got to be like, why would she even message? Like, why would you swipe over if that was your thing, not your thing?
I have no idea.
Okay, so people always talk about the red flags. What would be your green flags on people?
My green flags?
Yeah.
Like I said, somebody that understands. I always ask about goals. So they have like a path in life that they're going down. They have something they're passionate about. They do have the drive, the ambition. Another green flag is how they treat waiters and waitresses.
Mm.
Like, are you respectful to them or not? If they ask questions instead of just talking about themselves the whole time,
Yeah.
that's a green flag.
That would be a red flag for me, because when I get into it, I just start chatting about everything, and it's...
That would be a red flag if they ask questions?
No, like for me, when I went on dates, I would always just talk, like way too much, and I would leave and be like, fuck, I didn't shut up, and I would like feel bad after. Then I would wonder, like, dude, are you think they're gonna call me again? Probably not. I didn't shut up about my life at all. Like,
Trying to think of other green flags. Like those are pretty good ones.
yeah.
I think too many people look for the negative. Like if you're gonna find whatever you're looking for. So if you're looking for red flags, you're gonna find them. If you're looking for green flags, you're gonna find those too. It just depends on your mindset.
I had a friend that she would call me, she would go through the guy's phone, like if she was sleeping with him or whatever, like a couple dates in, go through his phone. I'm like, what? How do you even, like, get into it? So, I would, like, look when they would open it, find out their passcode.
That is nuts. No way.
I like gnarly people like that, though. They're brave.
That is very brave. I don't want to go through somebody's phone because the only person that's going to hurt is me. Especially if you've only been on 2 or 3 dates. Come on now, you know you're going to find some shit that you're not going to like.
I'm pretty sure she's still single, but I don't know.
I would imagine. Still single, still going through people's phones.
Still doing it. Funnest date you've ever been on? What'd you do?
The most fun date I've ever been on?
Yeah. People always go on, like, dinner dates, movie dates, and I'm like...
I went on a kayaking date once. It was pretty fun. Like, we went to the museum during the day, walked around, grabbed a kayak, grabbed a bottle of wine, and then hopped in the kayaks, kayaked up the river, sat down, hung out, and then kayaked back, and then we went and had dinner. It was like a whole day ordeal. That was a fun one, and that was a first date.
It was a first date?
It was a first date.
Who planned it all?
We just played it by ear. Like, we met up. What did we I think we had coffee and went to the museum, and then we were hungry, so we went and got, like, kind of like lunch, I guess you'd call it. And then we were wondering what we were going to do, so we started talking and walking around, and we went and grabbed a bottle of wine, and we saw that you could rent kayaks, so we just rented the kayaks and took those up, and we were gone for quite a while. And right as it was getting dark, we made it back with our kayaks, got out, and then we went and had dinner and walked around downtown New Orleans for a while, and then went our separate ways. So that was a fun date.
And you guys talk after or no?
Yeah, we talked for a while after, and then it just wasn't a right fit.
Yeah.
We were going different. Like I said, that was the time when I thought I had more time than I did, and life was too crazy. I didn't have time to really focus on a relationship at that time. So I was just dating to date, I guess.
Yeah. I always thought it was funny when I would go on these really rad dates and then I would never talk to him again. And I was like, oops, like.
Oh, you ghosted really good daters.
But I didn't ghost him. I just got busy and forgot to, like, check back on them. And I don't think that's my responsibility. They could have checked back too, you know, but.
Yeah.
I went on, this guy had, I want to say it was a sailboat, but maybe not. Maybe it had a sail. I don't know. But he picked up me and my dog, and it was like when I just got him as a puppy and took us out boating. And this boat was gnarly, way old, and didn't seem like it should be ready for the ocean. And we made it out into the ocean.
Oh,
and
shit.
I can't even remember his face, his name, anything. And it was a rad day. It was really fun. I had a blast and got back safely. Lived to tell the tale. We didn't Gilligan Islands it, and then never talked to him again. Maybe it was me though. Maybe he just didn't like me, didn't check on me, and I got busy, and I was like, on to the next adventure.
Yeah, it could have been. People get busy. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think I was dating for the wrong reasons. Just dating to hang out with people, thinking I had more time, and I probably should have expressed that better.
Yeah. So as a relationship coach, how do you find, like, how do you know to look for the one? Like, what's the key in finding the qualities that you're going to keep this person? Because a lot of people out there are just dating through the rotation trying to find that one, but they don't even know what to look for.
That's because they don't understand who they are. And that's serious. Like, you have to understand who you are, what your goals are in life, what you're striving for, what's acceptable and what's unacceptable in your life, and you want to find somebody who actually adds to your already awesome life. I think these people don't understand what they have to offer. So once you understand what you have to offer, then you can ask those questions like, what is it you want to do within the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself? And if that's not in line with your vision of your future, cool, on to the next.
Yep.
If it is in line with your vision of the future, you know, maybe you have something going, like, what are you passionate about? Like, if I found somebody who, like, if I was to go on a date with you and you were like, oh, I got 17 races I'm going to run, I'm looking for somebody who wants to run with me, I'd be like, sorry, this probably isn't going to work out, because I'm not running marathons. Shit hurts.
Yeah.
But that gets down to understanding what you will and will not accept in a relationship. Pros, cons, and then what you're willing to compromise on. Like me,
keeping with
I want
free hair.
yeah, like me, like it's a deal breaker if they want kids. I'm not having kids. I don't want to have kids. I got cut to make sure I couldn't have kids. So it's like if that is something they want in the future, it's not going to work.
Yeah. I think a lot of guys should do that. They should do the birth control thing for themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I've seen a lot of guys that like, I don't want kids, I don't like kids, and I'm like, go handle that, take care of that.
Yeah, it's not a bad surgery. It takes like 10 minutes. You gotta lay down on the couch for 2 days, and it's just not that bad. It's really not that bad. But yeah, once you understand yourself well enough, then you can date with purpose.
Yeah.
Instead of dating, like, obviously physical attraction is important, but you got to go deeper than that.
When they are ready to date, where do you think the coolest place to take a person on a date is?
The coolest places. Here's the thing, on a first date, dinner's good, but you don't want to lock a chick into something. Unless they want to. You want to go for something lighthearted that they can get out of pretty quickly if they're not into it. You want to be respectful of the other person. And picnics are always awesome. I like eating outside. It's super low key. They have a chance to just get up and walk out if they're not feeling it.
My favorite is roller skating rinks.
I was going to say axe throwing.
Axe throwing? I haven't been axe throwing.
I think axe throwing would be cool, or like those.
I myself at axe throwing on a date.
Those escape rooms. Those would be. I mean, use your imagination and stop going after the same old, same old.
Yeah.
Like meet for coffee in the morning, and then maybe that turns into brunch.
I had a guy, he asked me to meet him at this bar, and it's a really famous, like, motorcycle, where all the gangs go and hang out. They hang out with their motorcycles parked outside, and I don't know what they do after that, but it just seems like the motorcycle hangout. And I drove all the way over there, and I think I got dolled up or whatever. You know, I usually do. I give it some effort. And I get there, and this dude was definitely in, like, sweats. And,
No.
And, like, what do you call those flip-flops that just have the one strap? I don't even know. Slides.
Slides?
Slides and socks. And he was an adult. And I want to say I was on keto, and he asked me if I wanted a beer, and I was like, no, I'm on keto. And I just had a water because I knew I was driving. I didn't want to be, like, vodka'd up.
Yeah.
And he had one beer and was like, all right, I gotta go. And to this day, I'm like, that was rude. Like, you put me through fucking some shit getting all the way over there to this motorcycle. Awkward vibe for me. Like, the whole time I'm wondering, am I gonna be safe walking out to my car? And he just bounced on me, like, left. And I was like, we didn't even conversate, nothing. He just wasn't, I wasn't what he was looking for. And I was like, could have just been polite, like.
Yeah. At least he could have put some effort into it, yeah. Like, you got to put effort into how you look on the first date. Don't show up in slides and socks.
At a gang bar, too.
At a biker bar. That's fucking awful. No, I haven't had shitty experiences like that.
No?
No.
You would think, like, I've heard of, like, a lot of dating in New Orleans that, or even that area, you know, that you would think that there would be wild dates, but
Not that I saw. Maybe I was doing a good job screening out the weirdos.
Too professional there.
I did a good job screening them out. No, nothing wild. It was fun. It was a good time now. I'm back in Wyoming, and I'm glad I found the girl I have now. But dating was, there's 60,000 people in this town.
Is that a lot? Is it hard to date there?
Oh, it's terrible. Awful. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's trying to get up in your business. It's just, it's not fun. But made the best of it. And here we are.
I want to date back in like the pioneer days.
When you had to court somebody?
Yeah, like I remember I went to there's a place in Joshua Tree where you can do a tour, and this old man you tour his property, and this guy was like genius of his time. He created like a back stretching mechanism because he was always in the mines hurting his back, and so it would like stretch him out. He would strap his legs in, crank it up, and it would stretch him.
Holy shit.
But he met his wife. She was a city girl, and he moved her out into the middle of the desert, Joshua Tree, and she started canning food and like teaching her kids stuff, and it was gnarly. It's like, I want to live through that. Like,
I don't know. Yeah, you definitely have to find a special person to be able to take them back in time like that. Take them back to your wagon.
I keep telling my boyfriend, he's like, yeah, we should buy a house, and we're in California. It's like, you can't. I just watched a funny reel on Instagram, and it's like one of those toy houses. And yeah, this is paid for, and really funny meme, reel or whatever. He's a comedian. Can't think of his name though. He's an Australian comedian, and he keeps saying like, oh yeah, we should buy a house, and it's like, it's impossible. There's no way. Like, we need to buy a room somewhere, you know, like a garage first, and work our way up. But I told him the other day.
Is it as expensive if you go further inland?
Oh yeah, like we live kind of, we're in the city. We're not too far from the mountains though, and even houses in the mountains where you have to drive probably 20-30 minutes to get gas, it's like in the 500,000s, I'd say.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it's not cheap out here at all. And we talked about moving out in the way outskirts so that we could afford it, you know, afford nice property with big land. But to do that, you're commuting every day like an hour to work, and
yeah.
The other day there was a car accident on the freeway. This guy hit somebody, got ejected from his car, and ran over twice. Like, you got to deal with that on your commute. You don't want to be doing that. Like,
damn.
So, but we talked about buying houses, and he's like, I just want a big barn. Wherever we live, I want a big barn. I want to shop at home. And I'm like, let's move to Indiana. And
yeah.
He's not about it. I'm not moving to Indiana. I'm like, well, you could have a big barn. We could have a pool. We could have a lake, a river. We could have it all. Like,
yeah. No shit. Yeah, you got to move to one of those places where the cost of living is a little bit lower.
But we're stuck here. We're stuck.
No, you're not stuck anywhere. That's a mindset.
I'm going to buy a tree house in the neighborhood.
There you go. Just get one of those just get a tiny house.
Yeah. I don't know how people do it, the people that live in vans with each other.
There's no way.
I don't know how they do it.
There's absolutely no way I could be around somebody in that close proximity all the time.
Yeah.
You can't get away from them.
My uncle did it. Like, he was truly in love with his wife. They've been since divorced or separated or what have you, but he was in love with her. It was cute. Sometimes I would watch them and they would like, he would come home from work and he would like instantly go to find her to give her a hug or a kiss goodbye, you know. It was crazy. I'm like, what is this, man? And but he built a lot of his houses from scratch, and while doing that, he lived in motorhomes with his wife. And I'm like, one of them was just, you know, the bed that goes on the truck.
Yeah.
It was one of those, like a little camper on the truck. And I'm like, you lived in here like for years with her. Like, that's so crazy. I don't know how somebody does that.
No, that requires a lot of sacrifice.
And you can't even, at that point, if you're living like that, you don't have a real job, right? You're just...
No. Like, I see some of these people, they're usually single people, but of course they're working remotely, and they're in their vans traveling around, but they also have badass vans.
Yeah.
It's not a truck camper sitting there building a house.
And some people do with kids.
That's not fair to kids. That's just wrong. That is just wrong.
I can't. I don't know how it's going to be for kids dating when they get that age. My nephew's 6, and I'm like, the AI stuff, and I don't know. Like, when he was like 5, he's like, yeah, I want a GoPro for Christmas. I'm like, what for? So I can be a YouTuber. That's not what GoPros were made for. Like,
well, he can make it work.
he just wanted to do talking videos of like him just talking. It wasn't action sports. Just want to be
Yeah.
YouTuber.
What's that?
He just wanted to be a YouTuber. He wanted to be a fast talker, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how the dating thing's going to go for this newer generation. I mean, they're not going to know any different, though.
Yeah.
They're just, like, I didn't know any difference other than just asking someone out when you had to do it face to face.
I mean, I went through it, though, where you, like, in school, we had to ask people out on dates in school, and you had to call their house. You had to, like, ask for them to sign your yearbook, get their phone number from that, and call them on a date at the skating rink. Like,
Yes. Yeah. But now they just have each other's Instagrams and Snapchats, and that's how they're going to date.
it's wild.
Yeah, it was great talking to you. Great seeing you.
Perfect. Thank you for letting me reschedule and being patient with me.
Anytime. No big deal.
Alrighty, well, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 4. I'm going to try to keep this short. If you are liking what Lily and the Lost Boys podcast is giving you, please give us a subscribe on whatever streaming channel you're using. If you want to know when we have any new launches or when the next episode's coming out, please follow our Instagram. That's kind of where I'm able to keep things most up to date at this time. As always, I am always looking for new guests to be on the show. So if you have a few stories to share, please write in. I'm going to link everything in the show notes per usual, but you can even DM me on Instagram. You have my number. But I'd love to hear from you. If you have a love letter, please write in. We'd love to get your stories on the pod. As always, take care and be careful who you bring home to mom.